Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for SUI, render and FET price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna start with SUI here on the daily chart first, of course, to see what's going on in SUI. So basically we have mentioned, of course, we have a double 1-2 for a big, of course, moves here for SUI and followed by another 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. So you have 1, 2, 1, 2, wave 3 that it might reach, of course, the 1.618, 9.78 dollar as a target. Another scenario is a wave A finished in 3 waves zigzag, and you have of course a wave B already finished as well in another zigzag, and you're looking for a wave C impulsively at least the 1-to-1 fib level 6.8 dollar. In case that you are still in the daily here and closer of course where you might be in a zigzag as well formation as ABC here, after this impulse wave A you got a correction wave B and you continue toward the upside. The 1-to-1 fib level has to be hit of course as an A, B and a C 5.74 dollar for SUI. Currently you are looking at double 1-2 here, 3, 4, 5, 4 and a 5 that it might continue of course for higher prices. We would like to see continuation from there after this 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 to of course see something very massive unfolding for higher prices. Of course there is a different scenario as well. We're gonna see it on the 2-hour chart where you have a double 1, 2 again and then wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 towards the upside. Let's move to the 2 hours chart here. So the first scenario is still of course working perfectly where you have a double 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3 then followed by a wave 4 and finishing an impulse here as a wave 5. Finally, having of course 3 waves towards the downside, A, B and a C as a zigzag, we can see that the price took of course the high here, which it is considered kind of like invalidation of course in case you are bearish in an impulse toward the downside, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. This is a unlikely scenario right now, especially of course after hitting the zone 1. The next scenario can be therefore of course a diagonal, since the wave 4 has to interfere with the zone 1. However, if you take the channel for a diagonal, you will see that this wave 4 has broke out of this channel, meaning this wave 4 is longer than wave 2. It is not allowed of course, and that means that this is something impulsive unfolding toward the upside. Now, before moving so much into the micro level here, I would like to mention the different scenario that you might have here as an alternative, where you might have, of course, an impulse wave 1, wave 2, and another impulse finished over there, where you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave 3, ABC for a wave 4, wave 5 finished over there to finish a wave 1. And that is of course a wave 2 unfolding here as an ABC zigzag where it has reached perfectly the 0.38 fib level, the blue box as required, and we see of course that this has turned into corrective with this invalidation of a bearish. Currently you see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a wave 1 potentially finished here, and we're looking at an ABC expanding flat as a wave 2, 1, 2 and then 3, 4, 5 toward the upside. Let's move inside it here to see this formation where of course you can see a wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished over there, wave 2, and you have of course a potential here, wave 2 sorry, finished over there, or a wave B, and you have here exactly of course an A, 3 waves up. So let me explain. Wave A, 3 waves up for a wave B, and 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. Now it can be of course a W, X and a Y here that it has finished of course as a zigzag. However, be careful for one more leg, because if this is an impulse here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave C, in a wave 2 of course you would like to hit this target in case of invalidation again of a bearish. And that means of course in this case scenario, once you take this price here, that you can expect that this impulse is done and finished. If the price still under it, you might expect one more low of course for wave 2 here, that it might unfold for higher prices. So let's watch of course this price, what's gonna happen, to get much more answers for SUI. However, on the 15-minute chart, we can see, of course, after this impulse toward the upside here and this correction that we got, we are still looking to finish it. Well, it might be finished there, and we start, of course, something impulsive for higher prices. We'll see, of course, the target exactly what's gonna do and give us much more possibilities here for continuation towards the upside. Let's move for render. On render, on the all-time history as well, we are looking at the following scenarios where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1 or wave A, B, C, wave 2, wave B, and of course followed by an impulse toward the upside, meaning you have of course wave 1, 2, another 1, and of course followed by a correction wave 2, and minimum target 0.38 taken for wave 2 in the blue box of opportunity that we were looking for, and we're looking for higher prices to unfold here as a wave 3 massive, of course wave 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next scenario is of course a leading diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Those are the perfection for a wave 4 in a leading diagonal, and we're looking for a wave 5 to reach at least the high around the 12 or above the $13 for render. Final scenario is an A, B, and a C finished for wave A, and then A, B, C for wave B, and then of course continuation for wave C toward the upside impulsively, of course, as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, if we are bearish here, if we move inside it on the daily and we're talking about a bearish scenario, you would like to see, of course, a wave B here as a zigzag 1 to 1 fib level at least hit, which we didn't took it yet, especially that you have an impulse here 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, A, B, and a C corrective wave. Now, it took the 886, which is not nice to see, but you still, of course, has a potential of a double 1, 2 here. As a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, the wave 4 invalidates this scenario, and therefore we might, of course, shift to this double 1, 2, where you have 1, 2, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So preferably, of course, that this wave 1 is there. This is your 0. And you are looking, of course, for a massive wave 3 towards the upside here after having a double 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for render. So basically, this is the count that we have exactly here. A finished wave 2 probably can be, of course, an A, B, and a C here, and you're looking for a potential continuation toward the upside. Let's move on the 2 hours chart to check this correction. So this correction is obviously, of course, starting with three waves, and of course, it's 3 waves. And that means, of course, a W, X, and a Y is a very likely here that it has unfolded to finish a wave 2. After this, we are looking at something impulsive toward the upside. If we move to the 1 hour chart here, you can see exactly that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 potentially finished here as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to continue towards the upside. And as you can see, this can be playing here as a correction A, B, and a C expanding flat, finished of course as a wave C, and then you're looking for higher prices. On the 15-minute chart, as you can see as well, you're very close for invalidation in case you are in an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That would be, of course, a great indication of invalidation of bearish. So if we take this price, that might be, of course, a confirmation that we might continue for higher prices. We would like to take, of course, the zone 1 and 3.62 to be taken for continuation again for upside, towards the upside. So yeah, those are the invalidation and the levels that we would like to see, of course, in this case. In this wave 1, we have reached already almost the 0.5, and that means you have took the 0.38 minimum target for wave 2. All right, so yeah, basically everything looking still continuing as expected toward the upside for a render as well. Let's see FET on the daily as well. So let's see if FET is doing well. Again, so we are looking, of course, for FET here also for a bullish scenario. It can be a diagonal here, leading diagonal wave 1, wave 2 corrective, and followed by double 1, 2. The second 1, 2 here took the the 0.618 and the 0.786 in the perfect blue box, and we move, of course, impulsively toward the upside 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. However, if we move inside it here on the daily, we can see that this wave 2 potentially still might need one more low. And that means after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have an A, B, and a C that it might be unfolding as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, reaching at least the low. It's not necessarily to take the blue box, but it can, of course, at least take the low in 5 waves here. So if you are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you did not invalidate yet, of course, this impulse toward the downside. You would like to see invalidation taken at this price, of course, to signal that, of course, a trend toward the downside has finished here at 0.70 cent. If we move at the 2 hours chart here, we can see, of course, for this bullish scenario as an alternative that we might have, of course, we might have another wave 1 here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 leading diagonal. And of course, this is followed after a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, of course, for higher prices as well here as an impulse. Unless the wave 2, again, as mentioned, not finished yet, and we're still looking, of course, for higher. But basically, we can consider this as a leading diagonal, probably, of course, not really nice, but probably can be, of course, a leading diagonal. In this case, if this happens, and we finished, of course, in WX and a Y here, as a confirmation, again, that we're moving for higher, is, of course, taking this level. We don't want to forget this level is very essential, of course, as invalidation for any trend toward the downside, 0.70. Now, on the 15-minute chart as well, we can see something impulsive moving toward the upside, probably here, that it might, of course, be a confirmation for higher prices. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 has been given, yes, for FET on the lower time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So that is nice to see, of course, but be careful from turning, of course, into ABC. What does it mean? It means that, of course, A, B, and a C without getting the invalidation. If we don't get the invalidation here, and that means, of course, that you might still be under pressure for a wave 4 towards the downside. Unless, of course, a W, X, and a Y has been finished, or I would say ABC simply zigzag towards the downside. Those are double impulses at the end. Alright, so that was it for render SUI and FET. Let's watch the invalidation and let's see, of course, the structure, how it's gonna unfold. So very interesting price action for the altcoins. I believe, of course, the things might still continue towards the upside, especially FET, where it shows some weakness here, but it might be still this scenario as a leading diagonal and wave 2. So we're gonna see if the invalidation is taken, then yes, I will confirm it in the next video. Thank you for watching, thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.